Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of 13 Bombs, an Indonesian thriller action hybrid from 2023. The following plot synopsis was taken from the International Film Festival of Rotterdam, spurred by a video ransom note from a militant anti-bank outfit, which says to send 100 bitcoins or see the city of Jakarta blown up. The Indonesian Bureau of Counter-Terrorism picks up Oscar and William, nerdy co-founders of the country's largest cryptocurrency exchange, and the two men are forced into cooperating with the Bureau to trace the militants, but they soon find themselves caught up in an intricate cat-and-mouse game with a tech-savvy enemy. Now, early on, there are a handful of characters in this who are introduced, but the plot eventually focuses on the two cryptocurrency exchange guys. And they're under investigation by authorities because of certain connections that their exchange has with the villains. But they're also asked to give their assistance in catching the bad guys using technology. Now, they are put in a difficult position because they may need to flee from authorities and run away in order to clear their names. Now, the setup and the premise are effective enough in this film to keep you invested. You know, the runtime on this is pretty long. It's 2 hours and 24 minutes, I think. It is on the long side. And there's a section in the middle that does run a bit slow, but it's not too bad in terms of pacing. Now, during the opening half, the bad guys are kind of generic, really needed some color, but they do provide some stakes because they're willing to kill innocent civilians for their cause. Now, thankfully, the leader of the villains gets some backstory later on, and his motivations are more nuanced than expected. Nothing mind-blowing here, but it does add another dimension to the villains, which I appreciate. The acting overall is good. One of the actresses from the Big Four has a supporting role. Her name is Lutetia, and she has a noticeable, distinctive look about her that makes her memorable, so it's always nice to see her and stuff. Now, in terms of action and thrills, the opening set piece is an attack on an armored van, and the bad guys bring some heavy firepower, and they just overwhelm the security officers. Now, most surprisingly, they take none of the money inside of the van, and this confuses authorities and adds some intrigue to their motivations. Not long after, there's a solid shootout inside of an office building. The action design is pretty realistic in this movie, and it does have some impact. After that, we get more of like a slower burn tension, which focuses on our crypto dude protagonists as they hide, flee from authorities, flee from bad guys, try to stay alive, and kind of clear their names. There's a car chase at one point, probably my favorite sequence up to that point in the film. And, you know, sometimes in these modern action movies, they use too much CGI or ridiculous action physics in car chases. 13 Bombs avoids most of those pitfalls. So, you know, it's not as impressive as, like, the car chase in the Raid 2 or anything like that, but it's a nice little chase. And then the filmmakers make the appropriate decision to create a crescendo for the big finale. It's a lengthy shootout in, like, an industrial area, I would call it. Definitely the best action scene of the movie. And it's near the end. Includes a few effective hand-to-hand fights as well. So, nicely violent and satisfying. So, you know, 13 Bombs is not something that will blow you away, but it's a nicely entertaining action thriller to pass the time. And I do recommend it. It's currently available on Netflix. And as always, folks, I'll see you next time.